Would you rather have infinite pizza but no games?
I'm gonna kick your ass.
Bro.
Infinite games but no games.
Infinite game, but no pizza.
Huh?
No, but no games.
Infinite
Oh.
games, but no games?
Infinite games.
This is funny. I actually just
No
listened to a
games.
Radio Lab podcast about this, which is what happens if you divide by 0.
Yeah, but no games.
But no games? Infinite
No
games,
games.
but no games.
But no games.
I mean, what was the first option again?
Infinite pizza
But
but no games.
I'll take the second one.
A regular amount of pizza. Infinite games.
But no
Would
games.
you,
no games.
would you even want to eat pizza for like the entirety of your life?
No.
That's a grammatically structured, interestingly sentence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't
I
want to
would-
eat pizza once a week. Like I'm good.
I would enjoy eating pizza the entirety of my life, but would I want to only eat pizza for the entirety of my life? But no games?
Oh, okay. How long do you think you could go eating pizza before you're like, all right, I need to eat something other than pizza?
One meal.
Really? Just
Yeah.
one meal.
Whole week?
Yeah, I feel like I
Jesus
could.
Christ.
I feel like I've done a whole week.
No, you
No,
haven't.
there's
There's no way. There's
No,
no
no.
way you have.
Michael.
No, I shit you not. There's definitely a time where I think I bought. It was during the pandemic actually, because there was like a deal for pizza. It was a really good deal. It was like 2 larges for like $30 or something like that. It was an insane deal.
Some people gardened.
And
Some people explored their hobbies. Eric,
I ate pizza for a
whole
full
week.
fucking week, baby.
Bro.
Dude, it's kind of sick because I was
That's-
able to freeze like a whole pizza. And
Yeah,
yeah,
I
just eat like 1 or 2
Nice.
pieces every like
Eating
meal.
pizza for a whole week.
Oh my god.
It was okay. It wasn't just like a whole week. It was like
It was more.
for every meal. Well, it was for every meal for a whole week, pretty much. Like outside of probably breakfast. It was like
Bro.
lunch. Here's 2 slices, maybe 3 slices of something a little spicy, and then for dinner I was like, well, I got pizza in the fridge and the freezer.
Your gut microbiome fundamentally changed that week. I just want to
Dude.
let you know.
If
You're
it
the
wasn't already,
experimental group in a trial that would not pass regulation.
Oh my god.
Ethics board would have to weigh on this one.
Oh my god.
but
Ugh.
it was good. That's what's important. It was good.
I can't
If it was so
believe
good,
it.
why did you stop?
That's true.
Because I ran out of pizza.
What do you mean? Just buy more.
The deal ran out. It wasn't value anymore.
Yeah, I can't believe it. Yeah, I would literally after one meal, I'm like, I'm good with pizza probably for the month, if I'm being real.
That's crazy.
Dude, I get so much shit from my friends because they like I tell them about like, oh, Italian pasta, really good. But then they're like, what about Italian pizza? I'm like, I don't know, never tried it. And they're like, why not? And I'm like, I don't know, pizza's just mid. I don't know what to say.
Ooh, you gotta be real careful about what you talk about from this point on, buddy. That's
Pizza's just
spreading
mid. And
real
like
dangerously.
We're like the full spectrum of pizza enjoying here.
that is true.
Teva's like pizza's mid. Eric's like pizza's good, but it has to be good pizza. And I'm like, Little Caesars $5 hot and ready.
Oh my god, dude, that my professor is the same way. He's still reminisces about like getting like 2 giant slices for like $1 back when he was in like grad school and some shit. Little
Did he
Caesars
go to
hot and
grad
ready.
school in New York?
He went to grad school in like North Carolina or something.
Oh, okay.
East
Yeah,
Coast.
I mean,
East Coast.
2 big slices for a cheap price is the New Yorker way.
It's the New Yorker way. I mean, but no, he specifically reminisces about the Little Caesars hot and ready because it's
From
hot
North Carolina.
and
Me
it's
too with
ready.
this, man.
You could, literally.
We have so much in common.
You do. Can I say it's been a fucking minute,
Yeah, it's
Can
been
I
a
say?
while.
and
Yeah,
I
it
think
is.
we should hang out more. Yeah,
I
Mm.
agree. If only there was some way for us to do that.
yeah. If only.
If only.
Welcome.
Well, in the meantime, I guess we'll just have to
Okay, no.
talk.
No. Welcome to the We Should Hang Out More podcast, where we should all hang out more.
Sensing a theme here.
Sounds what?
Sensing a theme here.
Sensing a theme here. Yeah, it's been far too long since we've actually like just hung out and talked. So now this is like when you get a bunch of kids who have like had a fight and you just put them in a room and you're like work it out. And you don't get to come out until you work it out. That's like us right now. We're in this podcast room and until we have fun and talk with each other,
We're kids.
we're kids. We're not allowed out.
Oh, I guess reintroductions are in order. My name's Teva, and these are my friends.
Jesus Christ. Yeah. And my name's Teva, and these are my friends.
You guys are menaces.
And together we're the Tevets.
The Tibets. Oh, please
Really?
no. Dude, it's been a minute, but I don't know how much y'all follow current events. Did y'all follow the shit? I'm not the Grammys.
The shit.
The shit. The Oscars? What happened recently?
It was the Grammys.
It was the Grammys.
Yeah, Taylor Swift wouldn't be getting an award at the Oscars.
That's fair. Well, there's Taylor Swift, but then there's also the movie one is the Oscars, right? There's also all the movie stuff that happened recently.
Wait, I don't think the Oscars happen? Did I
Maybe-
just
Did they?
miss this?
Wait,
By the time you're listening to this video, the Oscars will have happened.
Given our recent track record.
No, sorry, the Oscar nominations I think came out. Is
okay,
what-
yes,
is what happened.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And there was kind of something funny in my mind that happened where a lot of movies were nominated, and particularly Barbie, which came out last year, had some like nominations, like notably like the creator of Barbie was nominated for like I don't know what it was, like best supporting actress or something like that. But what I thought was kind of funny is in the movie Barbie, which is like all about like, you know, feminism and how like the world we live in is like swayed and slated to be more favorable towards men. You know, Margot Robbie didn't get like any sort of nominations, that's fine. But you know who did?
Ken.
Ken.
I
Ryan
was
Gosling.
blanking on. Okay,
Ken, yeah.
quick aside. I always get Ryan Gosling and Jake Gyllenhaal confused, and I don't know why.
What?
Oh, you know,
Y'all
Eric, it's
consistently
fine.
do this.
You can say it, Eric. You can be racist on this podcast.
Okay, they're both very attractive white men.
You softened the blow a little bit there.
They're both
Yeah,
very, very attractive
they
white
look
men.
so different. They're
Hey,
not
You can
even
do
the
it
same.
different, Eric.
Hold on, I need to pull up a picture.
one-
Please
one-
continue while I pull up a picture for my
They
visual
play
reference.
One looks
completely
like
different
Jake
characters.
Gyllenhaal, the other one looks exactly like me. He's me.
He's
Alright, don't
used.
give yourself that much credit, buddy. Relax.
No, it's the Ryan Gosling joke. You know.
I hate that
Really?
I'm looking at the pictures and I'm still like, yeah, I think they look the same,
They
dude.
look nothing alike. That's so crazy that you think that. They look so different.
Who's the one with brothers? Is that Gosling?
What?
No, wait, is that the other white
Jonas
guy?
Brothers.
Oh my god, dude. They're
Wait,
so different. The characters
Do
they
you
play
mean the
in movies.
Hemsworths?
Yeah, wait.
You
No,
mixed
maybe.
it with the Hemsworths?
Jesus Christ.
Wait, no, that might be another set of brothers. I'm
Eric,
thinking.
you're digging this very deep hole for
They're
yourself.
all attractive men, okay? They're all very, very handsome lads.
Nothing wrong with that. You just think all attractive men look the same?
Potentially.
Is that why you get me and Luke confused?
No,
all the time.
It's us confused for other racist reasons.
For other racist reasons. True. Those half Asians, you know, all the same.
All the same.
All the same. But anyway, the whole point about the Oscars is I just thought it was funny that from the Barbie movie, the things that were nominated were Ryan Gosling as Ken for Best Supporting Actor, and then I could be wrong about this, but like of the songs in the Barbie movie, it is the like I'm Just Ken song that I believe got a I don't know if it was a nomination. We can spread misinformation here, but
Yes, let's.
yeah. But I just thought it was funny because it's like, and I've talked with someone who's like really into film, and he's like, there's actually good reasons for like a lot of these nominations, and it does make sense. But I just thought it was funny that of all the movies, like Barbie is the one where you're like, I'm just gonna nominate the guy, the lead guy.
Yeah, it's a little silly.
It's a little
But-
silly.
I mean, the point of it is the movie foils, right? Like, you know, it's you wouldn't have the Barbie with, you know, being the centerpiece of the ideas that it has without having.
You're
to do
right.
it as
Barbie
well.
is nothing without Ken. Good point. Eric.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That is the takeaway that we
exactly.
all needed from the Barbie movie.
Oh my god, it's just so
Crazy how
funny.
the last thing we talked about
Yeah.
on the pod was the Barbie movie.
And the first thing
Yeah,
is the
it's-
Barbie
well,
movie.
We've
same
come
as it
full
ever
circle.
was.
Same as it ever was.
Dude, I think it was a fun movie that was like very in your face about feminism, and I'm okay with that.
And
So
some people needed that.
and some people needed that. Exactly. Some people should be shamed, you know?
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm a big proponent of shaming people when it's needed.
One of my hottest takes, I don't know if it's that hot. One of my biggest takes is I think, and maybe I said this before, but I think the world would be a better place if more, well, especially old people, played like League of Legends.
Wait.
And the reason I think this is okay, hear me out. One, they would get their ass ripped open by like 12-year-olds calling them shit they'd never heard before. And then two is some people have just too much time on their hands. Like, I think some people need to like waste more of their time instead of going online and like reacting to Twitter comments. Like, just play a game of League. Like, boot it up, play as fucking whoever, and try and get good at that instead of like
enter another toxic environment instead.
Just have different medias and outlets just to be toxic.
Some people need that. That's all I'm saying.
Do you think it's more productive? Like, Okay, that's not to say arguing online is not productive at all. There's no world where that's productive, right?
No.
But it's being toxic in of all games League more productive.
You don't
than
have
that.
to be
Is
toxic.
that better?
You just need a way to waste your time.
It's like burying the nuclear fallout instead of having it out in public, you know?
Yeah, it's
Just
like
brush it under the bed.
we all agree that this area we're just not gonna go here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
There's a really interesting Tom Scott video, I think, where he like who's retired now, by the way, which is super sad. But
Oh, really?
yeah, you didn't hear?
No.
He's like,
I mean,
he's not.
YouTube retirement is just like, I'm going to do other hobbies instead.
Yeah, it's like I'm not. He's basically like I'm no longer like uploading like, I think daily or whatever he does. Like
Tom Scott never did daily uploads.
weekly, maybe.
Maybe bi-yearly?
Maybe he did weekly.
I think he did weekly. He's like, I'm no longer doing like weekly uploads or something. For his shit. But anyway, he's retiring. But he had this video where he went to like a nuclear like garbage dump essentially in like
Wait,
a hazmat
Tom
suit.
Scott or Tom Scott?
Tom Scott?
Okay, I thought you were talking about Tom Scott.
Yeah, I
who
thought you said
also
Tom Scott
retired.
as well. Wait, I also didn't know
Who the fuck is Tom
Who's
Scott?
Tom Scott?
What? What?
Dude.
Okay.
I am the bridge between Toms.
Who the fuck is Tom Scott?
Have you ever watched
legitimately do not know who
Aztec
Tom
movie?
Scott is.
No.
Teva,
Yeah.
Wait, Flash
shut up.
animation Aztec movie came out in like 2008.
I'm
No,
fairly certain
what?
Tom Scott is more famous than Tom Scott.
No. Tom Scott is definitely more famous than Tom Scott. Tom
Okay,
Scott's
the
the guy
subscriber
who
count would-
wears the red shirt and does one take
No.
Jake stuff and
Yeah.
walks around.
Yeah.
Yes, but as far as subscriber count, Tom Scott takes the cake there.
Yeah, but like subscriber count, like all the YouTubers say it's like kind of like an outdated metric. It kind of just shows like when you started versus like how
Yeah,
not how
what's your
popular you are.
watch time? What's your retention?
Yeah, it's all about the stats, man. Like I agree. Apparently, Tom Scott is like huge. He has like 7 million followers on YouTube, but like
Followers.
subscribers, whatever you call it. It's I don't know, man.
I'm
So
splitting hairs.
the man from the UK in the red shirt, not the man from the UK in checkers, is who you're talking about, right? Red shirt Tom.
I'm talking about red shirt Tom.
Okay.
I'm talking about
Sorry, go on.
red shirt, gray sweatshirt Tom.
Someone just now is learning about the two great UK Toms.
Yeah. Well, one of them is each of us.
Okay, one of them is me actually because I didn't know they're both UK actually.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Tom Scott's very cool. I go to them for very different things.
that is fair. Yeah. So I think Tom Scott with a T, red shirt guy, has done
Both
weekly.
Tom starts with T.
But... thank
you.
you.
I am learning new things today.
Yeah. So he's been doing weekly uploads for a year, or shit, for 10 years. God damn it.
For a year.
For a year. That's still impressive. But no, he's been doing
kind of.
weekly uploads for 10 years. And I think he's just like a month ago released a video, which now has like 10 million views, of like basically saying goodbye. I'm stepping back. I'm stepping down. Like I still might make stuff because he's like a creative guy and likes to do that. But this is the end of like the weekly Tom Scott video uploads era because, that's a lot of fucking work and it's like hard to do. which I think is super awesome. Like, there's something about watching his videos which is just very relaxing of seeing some like British guy talk about something random and cool in one take for like 5 to like 10 minutes or something. So
Yeah,
but
I think he's in extremely influential on the
yeah,
platform.
I think so too. Yeah, he's like people on the platform definitely know who he is, and I agree about the influential part. But he did a video where he went to like some like nuclear trash dump and just like walked around in a hazmat suit and like opened a barrel and be like, yeah, so this thing is like X amount of radiation or something, and they're just burying it. And hopefully this warning sign people will be able to read before they go in here. And it's like, that's crazy. So that's kind of what
I,
like League of Legends would be for old people.
It's like the ESRB rating,
Yeah, yeah.
like contains online interactions or whatever
Contains
it is.
online interactions. Dude, that's I feel so bad for the children of today and tomorrow because it's rough out there to like not get like traumatized by like the internet. Like I don't know. I feel like in our era we were like it was like just starting up, but I feel like there's so much like shit online now. It's like it's crazy.
to be fair, it was kind of all there before.
Yeah, there's always been shock content online.
Yeah,
But like yes, I agree about shot content. But I feel like in general, like it's just so much more optimized to like fuck with your brain. You know what I mean?
Mm.
it is. Like you
Yeah.
can like just go on Twitter now and just it's
Like,
just
Dead
there.
bodies. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I don't think doom scrolling was a thing when we were like kids. You know?
You kind of had to like stumble
You had to
across
like
it.
put in effort to doom
Or
scroll.
your friend like, hey, you seen this shit?
Oh my
Yeah.
god, dude!
Like ooh.
I sometimes go on like Facebook and just like look at the comments me and my friends made with each other from like middle school, and it would just be the most random shit where you just like post on someone's wall and you're like, "Hey man, saw you in like PE today. You were running fast." Like just the most random like shit. Did you know Facebook has a memories like feature?
Oh, I'm well aware of that
Do
one.
you ever look at it to see what you did? Like,
Oh, every day, in fact.
really?
It is not a good time for me, I'll tell you that.
What? No.
Eric
I'm-
realizing he was cringe.
No, not just cringe, like objectively bad person as well too.
What? Give us the
Oh,
highlight.
boy.
Like, what did you say?
I'm not
That's so
even sure
bad.
I don't want to out myself.
What do you mean? You should absolutely out yourself.
Hey, I said some horrible things as a kid.
Okay,
Oh
maybe
my
don't out that
God.
stuff, but like maybe like a 6 out of 10 on the horrible scale. You know what I mean? Like,
Like there was cringe, right? They're like, oh,
Yeah.
haha, like,
yeah.
I don't know, saw you in PE today, XD, you know, like.
Dude, wait. This is so funny.
Or a lot of Eric's posts were saw a blank person in PE today, bullying statement.
Damn. Dude,
Yeah,
wait.
typically along those
Eric
lines.
definitely participated in cyberbullying.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
definitely.
He would have.
Am I proud of it? Only when it was funny. But I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I just want to make a I just checked my Facebook memories, and today like the one thing I see is a post I'm tagged in, and it says this is like over 10 years ago today. Holy crap! Did Sakura betray Konoha? Surprised emoji.
Oh my god.
That's so funny.
Eric is like 10 years ago today, redacted.
Redacted. Dude.
Oh
Oh my
god.
god. There's like a whole comment chain and it's so cringe. It's just it's so
Is it
bad.
cringe or is it wholesome?
It's really cringe. Like,
Don't kill the part of you that is cringe. Kill the part that cringes.
dude, I'll just read the comment chain. Did the new chapter come out? Question mark. Duh. LOL. Don't be stupid. Person name. Yeah, that's right. Person name. I said it. Or something. Like it's just so. Dude,
Oh,
this
to
is
be young again.
this is the most like middle school ass shit.
I recently had this very strange feeling planning a hangout with people.
Yeah.
And I was like, I miss Facebook. Like it's crazy how well they had integrations for like planning events and communicating with people. And then they just kind of tweaked the algo, messed up people's timelines, and just threw it all away. And now no one uses Facebook.
Dude, Facebook
It's
is so
crazy.
shit. That is fair. Do you ever like see the like? I remember how it used to be like X like number of people are going to this event on like Facebook or whatever, and I feel like I
Yeah.
don't see that anymore.
I feel like the last time, I feel like the turning point was after storming Area 51.
That was
No
a
one made
turning
a
point.
Facebook event.
That was a turning point in many ways.
You know what's?
for society.
Oh God, okay. So I am browsing through my like wall for a little bit here,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And you know what's absolutely insane to me?
What?
Apparently, I was still actually like posting stuff on Facebook in 2017.
What?
I
That makes sense.
Wait, no, it doesn't.
does it?
Yeah, that's when we were
2017?
shooting the project. Everyone was still using Facebook for that.
Bro, dog, you have a post from like last year. What are you talking? You still use Facebook?
Okay, but wait. Okay, but that was I think accidentally because Instagram likes to sometimes connect
it was
automatically
like
to it, and that's it.
automatically from Insta.
Yeah,
Okay, I see.
That's it.
You know, you
And-
can unlink that.
I did, yeah. It was just one of those I forgot to unlink it a few times. But the funniest thing is, I'm gonna send this in our chat because I was looking at this. There's just this empty post that's completely blank and with a very odd collection of people on it reacting to it, and I don't understand what this was. I
Do you?
have no idea what that's supposed to be.
What are they reacting like? I'm lost.
I don't know.
Bro, you got the whole high school Pokedex on this post.
Yeah,
Oh my god! Wait,
I
that's
legitimately
so funny.
don't know.
I've never
what
thought of it
was
that
supposed to
way.
be.
The high school Pokedex, dude. You ever stalk your like people you knew from high school and see where they are in life?
Not really.
Yes, I
No.
did that recently, actually.
Dude, I
Once in a
love.
while, I'll like remember a person and be like, oh, I guess that's kind of stalking.
Do you ever remember a person? Oh yes, they're number
And then Luke
181.
learns all of his
I
actions.
look them up just to make sure I didn't make up a person in my head.
Oh my
Uh,
god.
How deep do you go?
I just go like, I don't know. A lot of the time, it's just like making sure they still exist,
Hmm.
or being like, oh yeah, okay, well they haven't posted in X years, and neither have I.
I kind of like seeing when people get married or have kids and silently judging them.
Really?
Well, like,
Not just silently sharing their joy, not loudly sharing their joy,
Not
not sending them a message.
oh,
not even
100% no. No,
Teva,
so-
I can't believe this.
dude, I'm just a human. And sometimes, I would go on Facebook in college and I just see a post where it's like, X person is like, I'm expecting. And I'm like, damn, we're like in our 20s, like early 20s, but you do you.
Teva's
I-
like, I'm expecting
I
this
had
college
that-
degree.
Yeah.
The judgment from Teva.
I should have had that moment about 2 weeks ago because I ran across someone from Facebook and was like, oh, I remember that name. I was like, I wonder what they're up to. And then I saw they had a kid in the profile picture. I was like, oh, that's cute. And then I was like, oh, I wonder who they're like. And I was like, oh, looking at the age, I was like, oh, they've had this, kid for a little bit. And then I looked through the pictures, like just through the profile pictures, and I was like, oh, they have 4 kids. And the first one was
What?
2018. I was like, oh my god, that is
That's
a lot of
crazy.
kids for someone who is our age.
That's crazy.
I was like, but hey, it's all the same partner and everything like that as well too from the first. I was like, that's good. That's cool. Like I feel like you don't like find that all too often. When you have 4 kids, honestly.
Some people in some cultures just have very different, I think, philosophies on like children. Like
Mhm.
not to like single
On child.
not to single like any like community out, but a lot of people in my lab, their families are like traditionally Catholic.
Yeah,
And-
that'll do it.
And yeah, that'll do it. And it's really funny because they'll like a lot of them like they're either they like had been getting married or went through the process, and there's like all this like Catholic like pre-wedding counseling. And one of the funniest things is they make them like fill out a survey like independently to try and make sure that like their answers match, right? So that they'll like have like the same values and like be a good like match for certain stuff. Which is like not a bad idea in my opinion to like fill out a survey and be like, oh, how does that align with like your future partner? But one of the funniest parts is there's like an area around like, oh, how many kids are you like expecting to have? And, hopefully your answers align. But, when they get to that section, they talk about like family planning, and they're very like, usually like, you're not using any birth control, are you? And And the people always say, no, no, of course we're not. But they are, because they're like educated and they're like, we don't want to have like 5 kids.
Yeah, Catholic doctrine is like traditionally very much against all forms of contraception, which is why there are a lot of like, especially in older generations, Catholic families with lots of children.
Dude, it's
Practicing
similar.
Catholic families.
Yeah, that makes sense for practicing Catholics. It's similar in like Judaism. Like, it's not quite as like extreme, but I do know one thing is like, there's like tenets about like not trying to waste sperm.
Oh,
Like,
really?
yeah, it's kind of weird. It's like,
Throwback to episode 1.
it's funny. Yeah, throwback to episode 1. It's funny because Jews are the most like, especially like I think practicing Jews, they're the most like, oh, we want to like practice. Like there's no hell in Judaism, so you can't really like fuck up. It's like you just try and do the right thing for your connection with God or whatever, right?
Actually, didn't know that.
Yeah, there's no hell in Judaism. We're like all about fun. We're the most like loopholey people. We're like, oh, it says here that we can't like block the sperm, so condoms are a no-go, but they didn't really say anything about like birth control. That's not really blocking the sperm, so I guess that's okay.
I'm learning so much today.
Yeah,
it's so funny.
A lot of the traditional depictions of hell aren't even in religious doctrine. It's just Dante's
Inferno.
fun little. Yeah,
I know. When you said that, I was like, Inferno.
Yeah, straight up Inferno,
Yeah,
like
Dante
influenced a ton of people's understanding of what hell is. That is like not even religious and not even informed by religion. Dante just kind of made a fan fiction up with all of his favorite philosophers, and everyone was like, "Oh yeah, that's
Dude,
what hell is."
I feel like once you get old enough, it's just like you just write a fanfic, and now half the world is like following what you believe. What you put in the fanfic.
Yeah,
it was a good fanfic, man. I mean, like, I don't know what to say.
It's iconic.
But I don't know, with a lot of that kind of stuff. Did I show you? Speaking of fanfics, did I show you that one?
Oh no.
Yeah, you did. You definitely did.
Oh no.
Okay.
No, wait, I don't know what you're talking about.
Speaking of moments.
Yeah. Speaking of.
No, just because one of our friends was playing this one game, and some games have like these kind of item pickups. Typically they'll be like notes, right? Which, especially in horror games, I don't know why that is the go-to thing for telling the story. It's always like these notes, and they just get like horribly killed midway through writing like, oh, help, it's coming for me. It's like, well, of all the things, you started to write a note.
Yeah,
but in any case, have you ever played Skyrim, Teva?
No.
So in Skyrim, that's also a big part of the lore, right? You can collect books, and there's a lot of things you can kind of read through and whatnot. And one of the really famous ones, at least for people who play Skyrim, is the Lusty Argonian. And that's one where there's... are you familiar? Have you heard of this?
I've heard this like term, but I don't know where.
So it was
a Lusty Argonian enjoyer.
I guess I don't know. That sounds so familiar.
So it was basically just a book, right? That was kind of basically
it's not
like
just a book.
It's several volumes of it, in fact.
Oh my.
But it's a lot of basically like in-game smut. But recently, one of our friends was playing. I don't remember what the game was called because I was so caught off guard by this. And it was incredible. Let me just send it really quick for you, Teva, for your eyes only. Because as we were reading this, it was so bad I had to show it to my coworkers.
This is why you end up in HR cases, Eric.
Dude, while you find it, speaking of weird fanfics, have you all heard of Sonic High School?
What?
Huh?
That sounds like something that could be real.
It's a real fanfic. That is a real fanfic. No, me and my friends were playing through. We actually started doing Pokemon like escape room hacks, which is pretty fun. And one of them just has like a reference to like Sonic High School. So we have now learned about the Sonic High School fanfic. It's really bad. Feel free to give it a read if you're curious.
I've had too much fan Sonic content. I will have to maybe shelve that one for later. I've seen too
please
much.
Don't. It's not worth looking at. It's more of like people are into that. Okay, yeah. This is like, yeah. This looks like smut. Like it's just like nothing wrong with that. Did you want me to like read Any of
Read
it?
it out loud. You know what? Read it out loud.
Please don't.
Please.
Sir Osbert pushed down his pants and took out the weapon. A
That's
man.
enough of you, mister.
Yeah,
He didn't
okay.
get to the part about laying love siege.
Oh, I love laying siege. Okay, so yeah, so what made you think of this, man? Do you want to talk about it, or
What made you think of this?
It just lives rent free in my mind.
my
There was
God.
nothing
That's
that really brought. It was brimming at.
dude, I recently, some friends of mine have been getting really into like would you rather questions. And there's like one that definitely lives rent free in our minds that like just keeps coming up, which is would you rather be like really funny, but only for like one person? Like you're hilarious to one person, but
no games.
but no games, but but yeah, but like to everyone else, you're just like kind of like you get like light chuckles from everyone else, like at most. That's all you could get. Or
Am I
would you,
simping for this person?
you get to choose the person who you're really funny to. Like you get to choose. Or option 2, you're like medium funny to like a lot of people, but you're never like hilarious drop dead funny to anyone.
Do they have a weird laugh?
You get to choose. What do you mean? You get to choose.
I mean, I'm just saying. Look, if I so much as breathe and someone was just like cracking up, like just
No,
ugly
okay,
laughing,
obviously.
and like losing their shit, right?
No, it's supposed to be
I
a
don't know if I would
positive.
want that.
No, it's not that, Eric. It's like you're hilarious to like one person. Like when you try and be funny, like your jokes hit, they're like dying laughing. They're like, "Oh my god." It like feels so rewarding, you know?
I feel like this is secretly placing a curse on the one person who thinks you're funny because everyone else is like,
He's gonna
why are
think
they
you're
laughing
weird
at
as
this?
shit.
Well,
Yeah,
exactly.
well, it's also a curse on you
But-
because you're like, "Oh, am I hilarious or is this one person just insane?"
Okay, so my take on that is, as long as I'm like cool with them, I'd be perfectly down to just be a fucking weirdo with one person.
Yeah.
Like, I would be so down to just completely vibe out and just be absolutely unhinged with one single person because I've had those experiences with people. One of our friends, as well too, that just in class and whatnot, it would just be us cracking up in class and everyone just staring at us, and those were some of the best moments of my life. That was great.
It just feels so good when you get that one when you're like both like dying together, laughing.
Yeah, but if it's always just that one person, wouldn't you start to feel sad?
Yeah, but like, what if you could never have that again?
I don't know, man. I'd rather just be shooting free throws all the time than getting threes that only one person sees.
Oh my god!
Luke,
Ooh,
I
wow,
forget,
that's
were
deep.
you a man of peaks or were you a man of consistency?
I'm a man of consistency.
Oh
I'll
my
take that much.
God.
That tracks.
Dude,
That tracks.
I you know, the thing is, if we're podcasting, I have to pick option 2 because like if you're just podcasting and like everyone's like haha, like that's not good.
Let's have the one listener who loves it.
No, not even your one listener. It's your co-host. Your co-host is like dying at everything you say, and everyone else listening is just like, what? Why is he laughing so hard?
Now imagine you could hear them pity laughing for you.
Oh god, I would.
I would
die.
want to crawl into a hole and just disappear forever.
I don't know.
That'd be it.
This question was just so hard for me because like I value so much the experiences and the moments where like I just get someone like dying, like on the floor laughing. Like some of my closest friends I think are the people who like I can easily get to like feel that way, you know. We just die laughing together, and I
Like
really
me.
value that. Yeah, I like Luke
Yeah.
because Luke dies laughing with me.
I mean, hey, you had your peak moment with God, this pussy ass town.
Dude,
That
was
was
so
your
funny.
peak
I
moment.
really did peak in the Among Us era.
It was incredible.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just amongst a bunch of basically strangers, people you really didn't know all that well, playing games online, saying one thing, and everyone just cracking up and quoting that for years to come.
Dude, it's iconic.
I could never.
So we have in my Discord server, we have like a quotes channel where like when people say like just the funniest unhinged out of context shit, we like quote it and remember it. And for me, one of my like most iconic moments was when we were playing Among Us, and like literally, you know, it's, if people don't know, for some reason you're living under a rock, it's basically like a murder game where you like there are people who are imposters and they go around killing people, and I died to an imposter, and that never feels good, especially when like it's a super obvious kill and then the town doesn't like vote out the imposter who killed you, right? You want your death to be avenged. And so what happened is when you die, you're just sitting muted in the Discord call. And I just heard all these people pussyfooting, being like, oh, I thought it was like, I don't know, fucking Bill was the only one on that side of the map. It's like, yeah, it could have been Bill. Oh, I was with Sarah. Like, oh, we're safe, we're clear. And it's like, no one could have done it but Bill. Fucking vote Bill out. God.
There's still trauma there. There's still trauma.
There's so much hate in me,
It's
Eric.
been 4 years.
There's so much hate. I just want him voted out.
Let it go, man.
I want him dead.
I can't hurt you anymore.
Dude, it's because I don't know. I really like social deduction games where you like can like analyze and like play along, and part of it is like me knowing like, oh, it's just me and Bill here. I'm actually safe because if he kills me, he's definitely gonna get voted out, and then he doesn't get voted out.
This is like when we play code names, and that
Okay,
was
wait, whoa,
also
whoa, whoa,
a
whoa.
lot of fun. So
I never get this mad at codenames.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Me furiously typing away at codenames to the
Oh.
other spy master. That's also a good time.
That's true. Yeah. Yeah. When you and your
Yeah.
codemaster are both like, our guessers are so dumb.
Yeah.
It's
See,
so funny.
So just like a quick thing for anyone who hasn't played Codenames, you basically are just trying to make word associations. So you have two teams. Both teams see the same words, except the spy masters themselves. They have words that are
They have the
their
answer
teams
key.
to guess, basically.
Yeah.
And they have to come up with a one-word clue that is supposed to encompass as many words as possible. So let's say if you had, if your team has the words kangaroo, dog, and cat, you'd be like mammal 3. And then your team has to guess which one of those words relates to that clue of mammal 3. Mammal and the 3 words relating to it.
You're saying mammal a lot, man.
We do love mammals around here.
Yeah. Okay.
But in a lot of cases, your teammates might just completely get that wrong. They'll be like, mammal, well, what if they are talking about, reptiles that, lay eggs and like platypuses lay eggs. So technically, platypus is a mammal, and maybe like this lizard is also related to mammal. And you're sitting there the entire time, losing your mind.
In our friend group who I'm like, okay, they've definitely gone down this pathway.
Yeah. They're just you can just tell someone's like an overthinker in life when you play Codenames with them, because they're like, what if it's this? It could be this, think about it.
And you're sitting here trying not to strangle them. And online you can type away to your spy master. In person, it's a pretty different experience because you have to be completely stone cold poker face.
Dude, I feel like even in person, like my teammates just like hate me because I'll be the spy master and I'll be like, waiting for their hint, and I won't like say anything. I'll just constantly give them disappointed dad looks like the whole game. Just they'll be like guessing. It's like, well, he said laser. I think it's light, and I'll just be sitting there looking like, I'm so disappointed in you. How could you think that? And then they guess light. I'm like, okay, good job, you did it.
And they kind of give these those glances where you're like, did I get their approval?
Yeah, I try not to give too much away when I do that.
I feel like you've always been very good at that. No,
Yeah,
like giving that poker face, but also having a disappointed dad look.
Yeah, well, it's easy when you're just disappointed.
Oh
my
god,
dude, I always thought about this. I don't think I mentioned this before, but I was talking with some friends about the pod earlier, and they were like, damn, and maybe I did mention this, but they're like, damn, Teva, we didn't know you like had this side of you. We didn't know you were like so bantery. And I'm like, yeah, well, it kind of depends on like who you're with, right? Like,
it's a way of throwing shade at your friends right now.
well, no, it's a different dynamic. It's a different like vibe and energy. And I'm a big like vibe matcher. So if people are like very like chill, I'm usually more chill. But if people are like, I don't know,
funny.
Also, if people are funny, I didn't want to say no. I like the like vibe and the energy. Also, it's like on a podcast. But we're like this all the time, actually. For real.
All the time, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, forever and ever.
Do you have anything you want to talk about, Luke? Anything going on in your life?
I don't know, man. Well, anything in specific you're curious about?
Dude, I feel like I feel like you've changed, man.
In what ways?
That's, I feel like that's a lie. You haven't changed, but it's so funny thinking about how we first met, and just
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
I really, so Luke and I met in college. We were roommates, and I don't know. I felt like we got along like really quickly, like really fast, and I was just like,
Mhm.
damn, like I really enjoy hanging out with Luke. Like I wonder why he likes hanging out with me so much. And then it all made sense when we met this other friend of Luke's. What should we call him, Luke?
I don't know, man. We should just say another friend of mine.
Another friend. We'll call him Puff for now. We met this friend of Luke's called Puff, and he's just like he's a really like cool, sweet guy, but he's really quiet, really like just like kind of like aloof, but like not in like a weird or awkward way. He's just going at his own tempo. And in my head, I was like, damn, Luke really likes weird, odd people. And then it clicked for me. That I was like,
Congratulations, Teva. You're
This
one of
is why
them
I
too.
like. He's like best friends with like Eric, and he like likes this like like quirky guy called Puff, and I'm just like, the more I thought about all of Luke's friends, I was like, wow, it's all fitting into place.
Yeah,
Like,
I've got my rogues gallery going on.
because Luke feels like such a well-adjusted person in like just in general. Like he's very well-adjusted. I feel like he takes
Well,
pride in
what do
being.
you mean seems like? Give me a little credit here, Teva.
Dude, but then you realize internally he's like, bro, I love the fucked up shit. I love freak shit.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say I've changed. I think maybe people understand me a little better.
Dude.
I recently had a friend from our film group who
I knew this was coming.
famously said
no.
recently, Luke, I thought you were like a normal, wholesome guy, and the more I've gotten to know you, the more I've realized you're fucked up, just like the rest of us.
It's funny too because we had the exact same thought about him. Because when we first started filming stuff, we didn't really go to school with this guy. He went to school at another one of our local schools.
Oh really?
And we didn't really know him. Yeah, we didn't really know him. And so when he started filming, we're like, oh, this guy's kind of like chill. He's very much like, hey, how's it going? What's up? You know, very like laid back and chill. And then you sit there and start talking to him, and he starts just going off and nerding about like the stupidest shit, like that no one really knows or cares about. And you're like, wow, this guy's a fucking weirdo entirely.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
One of our friends, I guess I'll call him Sharky. He was saying they were driving to a shoot together, and Sharky was talking a bunch about like I think it was like Fallout New Vegas and like some of his opinions on the game. And then the other guy, the new guy, chimes up from the back seat and like disagrees with him. And Sharky's like, "Wait, this guy has opinions, strong opinions on New Vegas? That's kind of wild."
Dude, you ever like say something in a conversation and you just realize you like unlock like a personality trait in like someone next to you? You like step on a landmine.
This is safe.
Yeah.
You like hear their neurons activating, and like the seat next to you, like, oh no, what have I done?
Dude, this happened the other day in lab. I was talking with like just my lab mates, and for some reason we were talking about like zodiac signs and shit, and somehow we started talking about Animorphs. And like from the other side of the lab, one of our current like rotation students like pipes up and it's like, "Oh my god, are you guys talking about Animorphs? I love that series." And it's just like, whoa. You are very passionate about
That's
Animorphs.
really funny.
Yeah, it's so
So we
funny.
also know someone like that as well too.
Dude.
Animorphs transcends, boundaries in time. I guess.
Did you know that Animorphs, like, there's a continuous plot line? Like, I thought they
Yeah,
were all
yeah.
one-offs. I thought they were
No.
like one-shots, but there's like an overarching story.
The main character is a war criminal.
Wait, why do you know this?
Because
Wait,
I've read it.
I was gonna say you're talking to one right now.
You're talking to one.
A war
That's so
criminal or an
funny.
Animorphs?
Yeah, that's what I got from that too. Dude, I don't know. I just remember the titles, like the covers were like so creepy looking.
Yeah, they are a little uncanny
Yeah.
and strange.
I think that was the
And
goal.
It's very dated. Like it screams its era
Yeah.
so entirely.
That's it really does. I can't believe that was made for kids. Like they thought kids would like that.
Well, kids did like it.
I guess
Yeah.
they were right. They know better than I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It made
Speaking
enough of a lasting
speaking of
impression.
Kids.
other eras, we're entering we have entered a new year.
Yeah.
We're
It's
about a couple months in now.
dude, it's been
Did
so
you
long.
guys Did you make resolutions? Have you stuck to them?
I've
Yeah, I think so.
managed to. I think.
Dude, I think it shows how old we've gotten because I feel like our resolutions are so boring now. Like
Maybe yours is, Teva, but mine.
yours, amazing. Okay, well, tell me about your resolution then, since it's so interesting.
It's really not.
Okay,
I
well,
just
see?
want to be more vain and be okay with being vain and indulgent. And buying clothing, getting tattoos, getting
Mm.
piercings,
Do you think that's
looking specific ways. I mean, now that I am fully employed and I can justify spending money on stuff that's not essential to living,
that's so hot?
I feel like it's kind of opened up all that.
Did you feel self-conscious about being vain before this year?
No, not really. I mean, not really. I think now I can really explore it because I can like actually buy stuff in ways that I want to, not being held back.
I would have been more surprised if you said yes, because I feel like the amount of times I've seen you like just in the bathroom fixing your hair.
Okay, wait, that's a weird sentence to start. Just to start out with.
Okay,
I think
the door was open.
maybe when I was like younger, I was a little more self-conscious about stuff. That's changed over the years. I think during college I got more confident, and I guess more open to expressing myself in a lot of ways.
Do you feel like there's like a
I don't-
way you should look, or
do I feel like there's a way that I should look?
yeah?
I feel like there is a way that I could look. So I'm like, I'll work towards that. I think it's interesting, and this goes into. There's all sorts of other discussions that could be had on like self-esteem, self-image, even like dysmorphia.
Ooh, yeah.
And which is like why maybe I don't want to get super into all of this.
Luke, can
Not
I say?
because I've experienced these things, but because I don't know how to express my feelings about myself and my appearance in a way that won't make people concerned, I guess. I don't know. I think when people talk about like wanting to look a certain way physically, especially in this day and age when people's image is so manicured and like very like even fake sometimes online, and that has a like tangible impact on people's like mental health. Like for me to be like, oh, I want to look a specific way might cause some people to be a little like
I
give people pause. But let me say I've always, I don't know, I've liked myself. I feel like I've generally always liked myself, and I've always been vaguely narcissistic. And sometimes I mean, when I was younger, I played that up for the comedic effect.
You still do.
People who knew me, yeah, I still do. People who knew me, particularly freshman year of college, remember me making all sorts of jokes. But yeah, I don't know. I think wanting to look a specific way and like wanting to explore that side of myself doesn't come from dissatisfaction. It comes from like really liking who I am and thinking like, why not push myself to look different, or why not like strive to look a certain way, you know?
I think part of it too is you have the confidence for that as well, and I think that's always what makes it really cool. Like I honestly really appreciate when people wear really out there outfits, but they just wear it with confidence, and you're like, damn, that's badass.
I don't think I have that kind of confidence, to be honest.
Wait,
no, I feel like you kind of do though.
No, I don't think I don't. I think there are things that I would definitely look at and be like, no, I would never wear that. And there are people who I see online making fashion choices, and I'm like, yeah, it's cool for them. That's definitely not for me.
That makes sense. Can I ask you a question, Luke?
Oh, please do.
Do you ever watch Fear and? Have you heard of it? The podcast.
I've heard of it. I don't think I would enjoy it.
Well, I just want to say that Luke, you are absolutely beautiful, positively radiant and, really just light up the room you're in, regardless of how you dress, just like as a person.
Is that a
You
Will
are,
Neff statement
yeah.
or an Austin Show statement?
It's a little bit of both. It's a little bit of both. But like on a serious note, I feel like this is something that has come up in those podcasts and just in general, and I think it's important for life. Like I think it is totally okay for an individual person to be like, hey, I am either not fully happy or not fully satisfied with how I look in certain ways. And even if to someone else who maybe would look at me and say like, what do you mean you look so handsome, attractive, amazing compared to me, like you should be thankful for what you have or whatever. Like I don't think that matters or that's relevant. I think every individual is allowed to like decide how they want to look and decide their own level of satisfaction within themselves. And I think it's
Yeah.
good to be appreciative like of like, and I think everyone will have like features or characteristics that they're like, oh, I'm so appreciative that I have XYZ, but I
Yeah,
still want to be better in certain ways.
it's interesting because I met up with some like old friends a while ago, and not a while ago. I met up with friends I hadn't seen in almost 10 years,
Jesus.
and we were talking about getting older, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And one of them
Classic.
like asked about my weight, and I told them because he was talking about like how he had gotten older and started gaining weight, and like I told him like my weight, and I'm like, but I like legitimately don't think I'm healthy. And I don't think like weight is a good indicator for health. So it's like I get what you mean. Like there's aspects of self that you may look at other people and think, oh, I like, you may like be inclined to compare yourself to other people, but
Yeah.
whether or not that is what they want or like that where they at is like actually good for them is like another
Yeah.
different thing. I don't
Yeah.
know if I'm explaining
No.
myself well
I
here.
mean, I feel like I get you, Luke.
Mm.
I understand you. But like I know I definitely agree, and I think everyone has their own like goals based on like their own body. Like I don't know. I'm obviously studying science, and I don't know a whole lot about metabolism. But that shit is whack, bro. Like it is crazy how two people can like eat the exact same thing, and it just does completely different things to their body. And so
Yeah.
like everyone has their own battle. Like
Mm-hmm.
in terms of like, for me, like I know I gain weight and fat, like not the good kind of weight, super easily. And I need to like watch what I eat or I will have like a fucking beer belly. And I don't want
Yeah.
that. So I'd like try and be careful about that. But I have a friend who like has the exact opposite problem. She's like, dude, I wish I could gain weight and fat. It just doesn't happen for me. Like my body like actively doesn't do that. And it's just different metabolisms.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I totally get what you mean. And
Yeah.
I think it can be tough to have these conversations because there are people who like legitimately struggle with
Yeah.
weight to the point of having like serious health issues from it.
Yeah.
Like whether that looks like having an eating disorder or like what have you. And it's kind of tough,
Yeah.
And especially like thinking about like fitness and exercise and how that relates to weight. Like I do rock climbing
Mhm.
and I want to improve at rock climbing, but I understand that so much of what being good as a climber looks like involves like strength to weight ratio, and
Yeah.
I don't want that to make me obsessive about something that would be bad for my health,
Yeah,
Definitely.
and I think like to add on to like I think the really big part with it as well too is that everyone like people like to talk about their individual goals in a lot of cases as well too, but in a lot of cases people like to like without meaning to, a lot of people like to compare themselves to other people.
Yeah.
But it's just one of the things where if my goal for, let's say, like I'm pretty skinny overall, right? But my goal is still to like trim down some of like my gut and things like that and be a little more toned. But sometimes it's hard to talk about these things as well too, because sometimes other people might be like, oh, but you're already so skinny and things like that. Or you start to complain about a little bit like, oh, I've been gaining weight here and there, and the people always like say like, oh, but yeah, you look great, you look fine, but it's just one of the things where everyone's goals are very different as well too,
Yeah.
and how other people perceive you, and it's just one of the things where it's good to just also focus on yourself to a certain extent as well too, and just not worry too much about how others or like how others might perceive you, and as well too of just what others' thoughts may be. And just like, yeah, you have to do your own thing. Not worry about other people as much because everyone's very different at the end of the day, right? As far like you mentioned, especially as far as their bodies and their chemistry goes, it's just such a wildly varying thing.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone has their own demons, man.
Exactly.
Put that up in the bathroom.
Okay, enough about me.
You do not want to know about the
What are you-
demons in the bathroom. Oh god.
Oh my
Enough
god.
about me, the demon. What are you all's
But-
resolutions and how have they been going?
Oh yeah, we were talking about
kinda-
New Year's resolutions. Oh my
Yeah,
god.
I mean, to kind of go
that.
off of that, like
Yeah.
for me personally, that's something I had to kind of learn over the years as well, is just to kind of stop caring as much. Like, just to put simply, that was my New Year's resolution, is just care less. And that encompasses so many different aspects of my life, and a big part of it is just caring less about other people and focusing more on just myself. Just because,
So you're
it's-
both trying to like embrace your own like selfishness in a sense.
to an extent, honestly,
Which is
because
good. I think that's healthy. You guys are both too nice.
it's just something where like there's a certain point where it gets tiring to always be considerate of other people at the cost of yourself, and that gets really tiring sometimes, especially when, like, for me, for instance, I was just simply wonder, like, damn, I wish I could just ignore other people and just do something for myself, right? And that's something I think this year was a lot of learning for me as well too. Like, for instance, my hair growing out the way it was, and we kind of mentioned this before, is like, I think I look better with short hair, but I like, like, it's fun having long hair, so I kept it, and that was more for me. It was like a self-care thing to some extent, like a self-care and self-love kind of a thing.
I mean,
And it took a lot to learn that.
Yeah, I think that's beautiful. I also think like if you like how you look with long hair, or you like having long hair, like, yeah, who cares what like other people objectively think. And also, I don't even think I agree with that statement anymore. I feel like you look like equally good either way.
Anymore. So there was a time you thought I was
There-
butt ass ugly, huh?
There was a time I was like, oh my god, Eric's so ugly. No, literally, when people like saw you on the pod with like long hair, they were like, damn, Eric's got like luscious locks. What the heck? Like, everyone was like complimenting your hair. And I
Everyone
think it's
complimented me on the actual podcast content, just the hair.
Yeah, dude, you're right. Let's take
They
my
only
compliment.
love me for my body.
But you had the one person who was laughing like crazy.
Oh my god, yeah, the one person.
And the other one was just touching my hair the entire
Oh my
time. That was
God,
it.
dude.
No.
Yeah.
But like, it is something where and like, not just that as well too. Like, also just caring less about people. I guess,
Oh
like,
my god.
and I
You say
'cause
after
it's-
being like, I want validation from them. Tell me I'm funny.
But legitimately though, it's one of those things where it's very easy for me to care about people, like,
Yeah.
deeply, right? And I'm just like, oh, like, they're going through this thing, I really want the best for them, or something, anything along those lines. Like, even if I don't know someone, I'm very invested in, like, oh, nice, you got like promoted, like, hey, how's that been going? And part of it maybe is my job leading into that as well too, where you are supposed to get to know people, talk to them, things like that, and maybe that's part of it. But it's just one of the things where, like, not everyone is going to be there all the time, right? Like, some people are very temporary in that moment, and that's perfectly fine, and it's perfectly okay to be, and to, like, understand that if something doesn't work out, people are, like, you can have a great time with someone, and they may not be there all the time, right? They may not be there for the rest of your life, and that's pretty rare to find. I realize now. And it's perfectly fine to enjoy the moments that you can with the people who are there present at that time, even if they're not going to be there later. And
yeah,
before I used to
sorry.
care a little too much about that.
Just to add on to that, very briefly, there were a couple friends I had in college who I would hang out and study with, and one of them always said, people are in your life for a reason, a season, or a lifetime.
Damn, that's
Ooh.
actually beautiful.
Damn. And now you never talk to them, right? Because
Well,
no.
I
It's
think
funny
they
you
were,
say that.
yeah.
They
Oh,
were there
no,
for a
go.
season.
Go on.
Yeah.
So it's funny to say that because I remember back when I was studying abroad in New Zealand, of course, everyone there was having a lot of fun, right? Everyone's all buddy, everyone's having a good time. We're like a family now, that kind of shit, right?
Okay, wow, yeah.
And
Sounds like a cult,
okay,
but
I want to
okay.
go that far.
Yeah,
But out of that group, I would say I still keep in contact. Let's say it was a group of like 20. I really only keep in contact with maybe 4 or 5 of them.
That's pretty good.
More than I would expect, honestly. And some of it's, a little more close contact. Some of it's more touch and go. Like, I don't know, we keep up a snap streak or something like that, right?
Sure.
But I remember at one point towards the end of the trip, everyone does the classic, oh, we should hang out when we get back home and all these different things, right?
Yeah.
And one person in the group, bless their heart, was like, realistically, this is probably gonna be the last time we ever speak ever again. And then I remember a bunch of people were like, ooh, what a buzzkill, right?
Yeah.
And now when I look back on that, I'm like, damn, they were so right. They were so incredibly right and realistic about that. And I honestly really appreciate them for just being realistic and being like, yeah, this is really the last time, like, most of us are not going to talk to each other ever again. Like, this was just in the moment. It was fun while it lasted. And it was a great time. Like, we still had a lot of fun with it, overall with everyone. But yeah, you're not going to be friends with everyone. And that goes without saying. That's like a very, like, no shit, duh kind of a thing. But you're really not going to be friends with everyone. And that's perfectly okay. It's perfectly fine to have fun relationships while you can. And afterwards, if those don't turn into anything more long-term, anything like that, that's perfectly cool. And that's why, it's good to learn to appreciate the people and the moments that you have while you can have them,
Yeah. I think it's also really good to be self-aware that, like, the time you're experiencing with a person is completely valid and yet also very much determined by, like, this moment of time and your current life situations and, like, so many other circumstances outside of, like, your control. And that's why, like, maintaining friendships is like so much effort, because even if you like, oh, I love hanging out with this person, but if we're like in a different city and we don't want to, either of us want to spend the effort to like make sure that like online hangouts happen or that we like still talk, like it just won't happen and you'll like drift apart. And that can be okay. Sometimes that's like the best for both people. It just happens naturally.
Sometimes you say we should hang out more, and sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't.
Sometimes it doesn't, and that's okay.
But yeah,
what are some things that you've been able to care less about, I guess?
Yeah.
Honestly, so I found it surprisingly a lot more grounding than I thought. It was more like a goal, but it's almost become a mantra, like to a weird extent.
That's kind of sick. I love that.
Because there are times where I get, like, as I've mentioned before, I get anxious over things very easily, right? Like, if someone, like, I'm very sensitive to changes in behavior. So if someone, I don't know, like, typically responds and then they suddenly don't respond, I'm like, oh no, they hate me, right? And it's one of those things where when that happens now, sometimes I just tell myself, like, it's not even like rationalizing it out and being like, well, clearly they're probably just busy, they just haven't been able to respond or something like that. Now it's legitimately like, hey man, you told yourself stop caring less. Why do you care so much if they don't? Right? Like, what's the worst case scenario, right? And then that's legitimately what helps me calm down. I can feel my heart rate calm down. I can like think more clearly afterwards. And small things like that, small interaction was just like, oh no, like some random person from work, has been acting different. What if like I did something wrong to piss them off? I'm like, okay, yeah, why do you care? Right? They're literally a random person, you don't interact. It's a touch and go, like it's literally just work. Why do you give a shit? And then I'm like, oh yeah, you're fucking right, Eric. You're so smart. And then I just continue on my day,
Dude,
like it's some part of rationalization and some parts of just like, you told yourself you're going to stop caring less. Like, is that really what someone who cares less would start thinking, And that's actually helped. That's genuinely helped, which surprised me.
It's interesting because I feel like when you were talking about like, because we talked about resolutions pretty close to the new year, and you had said like, oh, I want to care less. I think there's a lot of stuff that is in your internal life that is where a lot of the focus of your resolution kind of is. Because I don't know, I still would hear you talking about stuff that like pissed you off at work, and I'm like, that doesn't sound like someone who cares less. But I guess I'm realizing so much of your resolution is like helping yourself in day-to-day stuff in ways that maybe other people wouldn't pick up on.
No, these are all things, a lot of it's anxiety based, if I'm being perfectly honest.
Yeah.
But it's like, things like, oh, if they don't like me, they're not gonna want to talk to me. But it's like, does it really matter, right? End of the day, like, it's like you had your fun, you had your enjoyment with these things. If they don't like you, so be it. Things like that, right? And it's an extension of the classic, like, oh, not everyone's gonna like you, which I understand already pretty intrinsically. But sometimes you still
somehow the way you said that was kind of sad.
No. I mean, because part of my job is also being likable to that extent, right? It's to be sociable, to be engaging with other people. And sometimes you're like, oh, but if that doesn't happen, there's a value of self-worth to that to some extent when you can't do your job, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's part of it, and I do take whatever work I do very seriously. So sometimes when I can't do that to my max, I'm like, there's some reflection of self-worth to some extent there. So that's where I just tell myself, like, hey man, just stop caring about like these things. Like don't care about so much about people. Like, just focus more on yourself. End of the day, these people have very little bearing on it. And another thing that's been a very grounding thing and grounding thought for me is sometimes, and this is gonna sound sad, it's not, but maybe it is. I don't know, but it really isn't. It's just sometimes like you have like end of the day, one of the thoughts that really helps me out is just you'll always have yourself.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
No, I think
Right?
that's a beautiful
You will
thought.
always have yourself. It does not matter, like what's going on and things like that. And for me, I'm someone who's very comfortable with that. I'm clearly someone who's a lot more introverted. So I'm very happy just being like, I can just have myself, my own time, and my own peace, and my own enjoyment, and be perfectly okay with that. And just thinking about that, reminding myself of that, is really what helps ground me in a lot of cases as well too.
Yeah, I think that's genuinely like some of the best advice you could give to someone is like, at the end of the day, you got to be looking out for your own well-being. And even though that it may suck to have to like cut people off because of it, or let go of things that maybe have meant a lot to you in the past, it's like if things in your current day-to-day are just not working for you, you got to look out for yourself and make that decision.
Exactly.
And I think the other end of that coin is also like, you'll always have yourself. So any improvement you make like for yourself or things you do to better yourself, like will stick with you forever, right? Like that's, I think, very empowering for making like self-change and improvement.
On the flip side, any mistake you make is gonna stick with you for the rest of your life.
Honestly, I appreciate that a lot too. It's like if I fuck up, it's me. Like me, myself, and I. Like I'm not gonna try to blame you on other things or whatever. Not like you could do that, but it's not productive. It's just
yeah.
I think it's
it doesn't do
empowering
anything
to have that agency. Yeah.
Yeah, and I really, really like that. That's a big part of how I'm very like self-improvement kind of a person. Like whether it's like more deep as like I want to become a better person, or it's like I don't know, I want to become better at Valorant. Things like that.
Bro,
like,
both are important. I'm just saying, like they both matter.
It's what brings some sense of fulfillment, right? It's like just get good.
Yeah, definitely.
Regardless of what that get good might be.
Yeah.
So Teva, was your resolution Valorant related?
I was like, I'm hitting Immortal this. No, no. My resolution, in a sense, is also, I think, kind of selfish. It's kind of multifaceted, and it's all related to one core idea, which is I want to be more creative and more like full in life, in general. So the first step of that was restarting the Teva and Friends podcast. No. Being more full, literally, no. And that's why I kept saying we should hang out more, what we should do. But I think that translates to like living a more full life in interacting and trying to stay in touch with like close friends that I like truly value my interactions with, spending time with. Like I think that's something I definitely want, and I think it's something that makes me feel the most creative. Like I really value feeling creative, having like novel thoughts, being able to like have like novel interactions that are like a little novel, a little familiar and comfortable. And so part of that is like podcasting like forces me like, hey, you gotta like look at life more creatively, look at like try and find the fun, interesting, novel parts of life, like pay attention to the little moments that just like make your day a little like more unique and interesting and brighter. And I really like value that. It gives me something to like feel motivated to focus on in life. Also part of that is I got some recipe books as a gift this holiday season, and I'm trying to make a new recipe every week.
Oh, that's sick.
Oh.
Yeah. They're like I got a few books. They're mostly Japanese and Korean themed in terms of the cuisine. And so far I've made some, classics like I made an oyakodon that came out really good. I tried deep frying for the first time. That was a disaster, but it was fun.
You're alive, so that's a pretty good
I'm
success
alive.
in my
Dude,
book.
So funny.
Dude, I told one of my friends like, yeah, I'm gonna try this deep frying recipe, and they were like, please be very careful. They're like, wear gloves, wear sleeves. Like, do you have like a splash guard or something? All this stuff. And I'm like, nah, it'll be fine. And it was fine, but I was very careful. But like, dude, deep frying is so hard. I like went through my recipe book and tried to like label recipes as like, oh, this would be easy to make. This would be medium difficult to make, you know? And I put a bunch of deep frying recipes that's easy. And like, I just showed it to my friend. And she was like, bro, have you deep fried before? Like, this is not easy to do. I'm like, nah, it'll be fine.
Time to go through and relabel.
Dude, I should. But like, they're like, get the oil at exactly like 350. 340, your shit is like soggy and like wet. 360, you have like a blackened piece of chicken. So just get 350 and you'll be fine. Shit's impossible.
Just lock in, bro.
Just lock in. Lock into your oil temp, man. No, I am not deep frying again without like specific equipment. That shit is so hard.
It's scary, dude. I don't think I've ever done it. And I don't know what would ever make me want to do it.
Dude, do you ever just want to make your own like tempura though? Or like a karage? Like you can make that.
I've done that, but that's like shallow frying. Yeah, but that's a lot more.
Tempura's not shallow frying, is it?
I don't know. I've shallow fried karage before. I don't know about tempura.
Yeah, I mean, I can like shallow fry like a katsu. Like that's easy.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, I tried it. It was a mess, but you know, I did my best.
Love that for you.
Yeah.
Did it at least come out tasty?
So it's funny. What actually happened was I made a batch and they got burnt. And then I was like, what if I used my air fryer instead? And so I air fried the rest and like finished them in oil and it came out a lot better.
Nice.
Yeah. I'm like, God damn, whoever thought of this air fryer shit, they were onto something.
I've always thought about getting an air fryer, but I don't know.
It's been mixed for me. I feel like, you know, a lot of the things you cook with it, you could just make in the oven or you could just make on the stovetop, and it's not like that revolutionary, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's just a tiny convection oven.
That's all it is. Just a tiny convection oven. Yeah. But yeah, I think that's mostly my resolution is to like be more creative, ask more like interesting questions, like, you know, should we like kink shame or not? You know, just like thinking about it.
That's what you're thinking about.
Come up in your day to day.
Is this because I brought up smut? Is this because of those love apples?
It's not because of the love apples. I was having a conversation with someone and they were like, you know, I think some kinks should be shamed. I'm like, what? And like obviously like they're clear like kinks that should be shamed in my opinion, like necrophilia.
Maybe they don't even have to be said on stream.
Some things are just criminal acts.
Some things are just isn't that just legalized kink shaming?
Yeah.
I don't know. I just thought it was funny because like I don't know what it is about the internet, but we just judge people so hard for being furries, and I'm like, that's not even that bad.
It's not even really a kink.
Is it not? Okay,
no, it's not. Being a furry
it's,
is not a sex
It's
thing.
more of an identity thing more than anything else.
Yeah.
For a lot of them, at least.
Huh. That just shows how little.
Did you think they were like getting it on in the fursuits?
I thought they were just kind of into it. Yeah.
No, it's not a kink.
It's
crazy.
More of a minority that are actually into that kind of stuff. Actually.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
This is like literally me being like discriminatory against furries because I know so little about them.
Dude, no, furries are kind of cool. You gotta kind of have it like that to be able to afford one of those suits. You gotta
have it like you got your bank account in order. You got your priorities in order. It's kind of hot if you think about it.
I think you're turning it into a kink, Teva. I think you're the bringing the kink into it.
Dude, I am the problem, man. I am the problem.
God.
Man.
I think I
Speaking of which,
yeah.
And I kind of mentioned this before, but speaking of being an animal,
Yo, I don't like this.
So something I had always kind of noticed before, right? And this is kind of from my experience working as a dog trainer, right? Was that a lot of people's dogs would very much encompass the personalities of the owner, which makes a lot of sense.
It's like a known, I don't know if phenomenon is the right word, but it's like, dude, owners and their dogs are like so similar. They like, look the same.
like you guys have met my 3 beautiful crackheads.
Yeah.
A lot of them encompass a lot of like bits of my personality, which shouldn't be that surprising, right? But what I've kind of come to realize is that it goes the other way around. Like
So you have become the dog.
I've become the dog. Like as I was doing a lot of like self-reflecting this year, I'm like, okay, so what are the kind of the key takeaways that I've learned? So that I attach to people very quickly, right? And like, especially if they have food, you know, if they ever be like, hey, let's grab some food or anything like that, I'm like, oh, cool, this is a fun time.
I love you.
I love that. Yeah, like cool, that's awesome. You know, and like something I've also learned is I really value like just having fun experiences. And like, man, like if someone just like I don't know, play like catch with me, like man, that'd be fucking sick. That'd be a great time.
Dude, we can play catch, man. I'd love to play catch with you.
Dude, I want to throw the pigskin out in the yard. Let's go.
Pigskin. Oh my god, you're so...
But like, I'm like, okay, that's something. Like if someone were to like do me dirty, you know, I tend to forget those things pretty quick. I'm like, yeah, maybe I can trust them again. Like, I don't know. Like, have you ever seen a dog? Like, you could, and this is kind of the sad thing about dogs in a lot of cases. Is sometimes you can just like completely treat them like shit, and they'll still come back because they just want love, right?
Yeah.
And it's the saddest thing because some people are just horrible people and they abuse the shit out of that, right?
There's actually some really interesting books about like attachment styles. And like this is like it's not about dogs, but I think it like applies where it's like, you know, there's a lot of problems with like becoming attached to something or someone, which is like abusing you, right? Like you are your dog's attachment object, and they like love you, and because of that, even if you mistreat them, they just want to make it right? They like feel guilty even because they just want your approval.
That's fucked up, man.
It is so fucked up.
And that's something I also realized too because
because
one of my
wait.
No.
That's a weird thing to start out with saying. Yeah.
That's just been this entire day. But one of my coworkers actually straight up said like to me like if they were talking to one of our supervisors was like, you know what, Eric's too nice and people take advantage of that a lot. And when I heard that I was like, damn, is that true? And I thought it was like it might be true.
Dude, I don't know about in the real. I have people say the same thing to me, like, "Oh, Teva, sometimes I worry like of you being like taken advantage of." And I'm like, "What? Me? No, I would never. How?"
And like, are you okay with that? If that's the case,
with
you being taken advantage of?
Only by you, Luke.
Teva?
Yeah, only if it fits my kink.
Well, because the reason why I ask is this is something that I've thought about as well too, and I think I would rather be kind and taken advantage of than not be kind.
Ooh, that's interesting. I feel like it's a hot take.
Maybe this goes back, and maybe this is counterintuitive to my care less.
Yeah,
but
Eric, I was gonna say that.
I just it's hard. I mean, these are all learning things, right? And this is something where I am so used to forgoing my own like sake sometimes for the sake of other people. But I think this is something I still stand by, and maybe this will change in time. Who knows? But I don't know. I'd rather always just be kind, and if people take advantage of it, so be it. I think the good outweighs the bad there, right? Like, there's more people who will benefit in earnest from someone being kind than the people who would take advantage of it. You know?
I mean, this is like a
Yeah,
kind-hearted
and even
joke.
the people who take advantage of it benefit too.
And they do. And you know what? That's a net gain for the world.
I mean, this in the kindest way, bro. I think you've been watching too much anime.
God, I mean, it is very like
it's so anime protagonist.
It is. No, it really is, and I hate that. But at the same time, I'm like, I'm okay with that. You know, like, I think just overall, like, I'm also someone who's very like utilitarian. And I've said this before. It's just like if there's more of like a overall gain, I feel like that's not a bad place to be. I
think what I value is being very in touch with like my internal compass of what makes me happy or what I believe in. And if I abide by like what I think is like right or correct in like without like, you know, the whole world saying I'm wrong, right? Because, you know, I can be wrong. But if I like abide by what I believe in and what I think is right, I think I would agree. Like if I did what I think was right and I believed in that moment and knew full well that like maybe I could be taken advantage of here, I think I'd be okay with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That I think that's kind of where I'm at as well too. So, like I said, maybe I'm just a walking contradiction as far as like trying with my New Year's resolution out.
That's called being human, man. That's just being a small little human being.
I'm just a little guy.
Yeah, you're
Just a-
so
just a
little.
little
You're
dude.
so tiny.
I just
I don't like
man.
the way you're saying that.
God.
Don't like that.
But yeah, that's how I learned I'm a dog, basically.
Yeah,
Yeah.
All of that.
dude, I think I'm also definitely more dog than cat as like a person.
Oh, really?
I think so.
Because I know you're more of a cat person overall. Though,
I think
no?
I'm a mix. I think as all things like in this podcast, as all good things that come in threes, I feel like I'm the most mixed. Like I'm half dog, half cat.
half Chinese and half
Yeah,
Jewish.
Jesus, yeah, quintessential. Because I don't know, I feel like Luke's got more like cat-like characteristics.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Would you say
I
that
think
after
so.
living with 3 separate dogs, that you became more tending towards dogs?
Yeah, definitely. I think living with dogs definitely made me more appreciative of dogs and like dogs a lot more.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like, you know, with cats, the thing you have to chase them for love. They don't just like come to you. That's how I feel about
Yeah.
Luke.
Yeah,
I have
I
to
love
chase
the
him.
chase.
Chase
I
me.
have to chase him for his love.
He's
I'll
a
just-
hard man to pin down sometimes.
Yeah. I'll just be petting him and he'll walk like a foot away and make me walk over to pet him some more.
He gives you that little smirk,
Yeah.
flicks his eyes at you and goes,
Yeah.
"You come here."
He's like, you coming or no? All right.
I hate that.
And man, I'm a sucker for it. I fall for it every single
Dude,
time.
what-
G-Tev. I'm with you.
Yeah, but like with I just feel like Eric would just come to me, and I love that.
Hey, come bounding across. Just
Yeah.
hey.
Eric pings me to play Valorant. Luke never pings me to play Apex. That's all I'm saying.
I know.
Man, I don't play Apex as much as I used to, man.
You could play
Dude.
Valorant more than you
No.
used to.
Dude,
I-
you just
Anything is greater than 0, Eric.
That's
In
true.
terms
That's
of
true. So you
positive
should play,
numbers.
so that way we
No,
can get
no.
positive on it.
Dude, what
I
if
And we
literally-
love positivity around here.
I don't think I could ever enjoy playing Valorant.
Why?
Oh wow, that's so sad.
Why?
No, it's okay.
You just
I-
gotta
so
hang out
sad.
with your buddies.
That's so
I
sad.
don't think I could ever enjoy playing Valorant.
Dude,
like-
we've switched, Luke. You've become me.
Really?
Yeah.
Wait, how so?
I
Let me
feel
hear it.
like I used to be like this. I feel like I
About
used to be like,
Valorant?
no, not about Val. I used to be like, that activity, I wouldn't like that activity. I don't think I'm gonna do it. You know?
Mm.
Which is
Yeah.
fair. Super valid. That used to be me. I feel like now I'm like, I've switched. I'm like, you know, I don't give a shit about this activity, but I'm down to spend some time with my friends. I don't care what it is, like within reason. I'll do it. Like, I don't hate it. Like, that's me for hiking now. Like, yeah, fuck it. I'll go on a hike with my friends. That sounds fun. Would I hike on my own? Never. God, no. But with friends, sure.
I don't know, man. Valorant's just not my game.
You're just like, literally, with anything but Valorant.
Yeah, that is the deal breaker.
Dude, should we
Fortnite.
compromise? Yeah, we compromise and strike Fortnite.
No. Okay, actually, unironically, there are so many games where I'm like, I just don't want to play this. I
And
don't know.
Fortnite is not one of those.
Fortnite is one of those. It just
Oh.
doesn't look very enjoyable.
It's a
I don't
battle
know,
royale.
man.
You love those.
I just hate
I
what Fortnite
don't-
stands for.
I don't like battle royales. I just like Apex.
You
You're
can play with a good old
insane.
buddy
Modified
and watch
search engine.
Chun-Li hit the
You're
gritty.
so-
Like, what
oh,
more
no.
do you want?
How can you say you don't like battle royales?
Fortnite.
You watch
no, man.
professional Apex.
We
Yeah,
sing the
but I
Chug
won't-
Jug song at karaoke.
The Chug Jug song transcends boundaries.
That's
It's for people of all creed.
oh my god, that's so funny.
Maybe we'll get him one day, Teva.
No, I
need
don't
to-
think it's gonna
We
happen,
need to
man.
find an activity game for us, y'all. I've been playing Baldur's Gate. Like, I'm playing a Baldur's Gate campaign with some friends, and it is like, one, if we finish that shit, that is like, we basically got married, dude. That's like such a commitment to like finish.
You mean the tabletop or the video game?
the video game, a
Video.
Baldur's Gate
Does-
3 campaign? Yeah.
Does video game does
Does it
Does
does?
it do
does
the
it
diz that
really
it
have
didn't?
built-in like native multiplayer?
Baldur's Gate 3, yeah,
Really?
yeah. It's like D&D.
Okay,
You
I
can-
think
you can
I've
call it
only
for-
just been seeing like very horny people playing the single player and then posting about it.
Oh yeah.
Okay,
I
but
mean,
we
the
could
game
be
is
very horny
definitely
people playing the multiplayer, and that'd be great too.
Dude, it's hard to be horny in multiplayer.
Watch me.
Watch, dude. It's just
It's not a
I
challenge.
feel like that's a Teva coming to us with the should we shame kinks
Should we
thing,
game?
and then,
No, he's already.
and then being like, it's hard to be horny in multiplayer.
Dude, it's
He's
well,
like,
No,
stop
you
shaming me,
misunderstand.
please.
it's the
When
social.
you're horny, it's hard.
It's the social aspect. It's the same reason I never think I could do a 3-way. It's just too many people to disappoint at once. You know.
Oh no.
After in a milk Jason, I think that's what's gonna go.
Okay, I'm surprised that I'm only just learning about Baldur's Gate having multiplayer though. That's kind of
I'm surprised too,
Dude,
honestly.
we could definitely do a campaign and we would have fun. We would just have to commit the time. And I also don't think it's good to do a multiplayer campaign before you've played a bit on your own single player, because like it's like one of those games where it's like it takes a while to like understand what's going on, but once you do, you're like, oh, this is a shit ton of fun. But I think that's harder to learn in multiplayer because you're not just the sole main character, right? Like when you're playing on your own, you're the main character for everything. And it's different in a multiplayer campaign. But yeah, it's been so much fun, and it's really nice to just have something where you're like weekly or bi-weekly, like, hey, let's do our activity, right? Let's play our game. We need that, man.
dude, I wish I could do that, and then I get home from work and I'm so tired.
Yeah, I feel it. I think I know a lot of people who like get that, and it's like work is like just so draining, and you feel really burnt out like at the end of the day, and you just don't
I
have
don't
the
know.
energy to like love.
I was like thinking about, well, part of the reason why I was thinking about this is we had a film shoot recently.
Yeah.
We can circle back to that, but I was like thinking about like, dang man, like now I'm an adult and I have the freedom to do all these things and I can like afford to do all these things.
Oh my god.
But I'm paying for it by being so tired all the time.
Dude.
And even though I could like seize every opportunity I have, I could like, even though I could go out to dinner with friends and like go on hikes and do all these things, it's like I'm just so tired. I get home and I'm like, oh, it's kind of hard to leave. Yeah.
Dude, like, do you remember like back in the day, like the pick two like triangle, where it's like pick two, which is like have money, like have time, and like have good health, and it's like any stage of life you only get two.
Yeah.
You have good health and you have a bit of money now.
Yeah.
You're missing time, man.
I am missing time, and I'm missing my friends.
Yeah.
But circling back to
the film shoot.
The film shoot. It's been a while since I've been able to help with the project.
Yeah.
We're doing a fan film for Darkest Dungeon.
Oh, what? That's so sick.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
And
man.
Have you played Teva?
Darkest Dungeon?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have.
Oh.
I've beat the game, man.
It's funny, I think you're the first person I've talked to who's beaten the game.
What?
Same.
Yeah. Everyone else I've talked to has been like, yeah, game's great, never beat it.
I have like 100 hours in it.
Maybe the people I've talked to are just bad.
It is a hard game for sure.
Yeah. It is a hard game.
Yeah.
We did a shoot over the weekend. It was really good to be able to do that with friends. I know you're talking about like being able to be creative.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it kind of reminds me of like what Justin was talking about the last time we all potted together.
Damn.
Like being on a set is just being able to solve problems quickly in real time, keeping morale up, and just creating something as a group of people. And it was really great. It made me remember the other shoots we've done, all the other times we've had together as friends. And then I had to leave because I had work the next day, and I'm like,
no.
Damn, I'm not the person I used to be who would stay up and then suffer the consequences the next day. The consequences are too scary.
The consequences suck, dude. Feeling bad when you're 20s, late 20s.
Yeah, feeling bad when you have to sit at a desk for 8 hours after. It's like,
it's so bad.
No, I don't want to do that.
Yeah, your whole workday is like shot. You feel.
Teva, did I tell you what I did after that shoot? Because I would like to say that I relate, but I
stayed up till 3 a.m.
No.
Well, the shoot wrapped at 3 a.m.
Shoot wrapped at 3. We cleaned up and ended cleaning up at 5. I had to bring all of our gear over back to our friend's spot after he got a broken tire?
Flat
He got a flat tire.
Jeez.
So by the time I got home, it was like 6. By the time I showered and got into bed, I slept at 7.
I remember you telling me about this, like this instance of this happening.
And then I had to wake up by 10. Oh, I called off work that day.
That's fair.
Because there was no way I was going to be alive,
that's not
right?
happening. Yeah.
There's no way. So at 10, I had to go to the warehouse to drop off all of our rental equipment. But then I also realized I'm kind of close to work, and you know, my coworkers, we always talk about my dog, so I brought Knox with me, and I went to work anyways.
Why?
Dude,
Bro.
you're the most unhinged out of the three of us. I just want you to know.
On 2 hours of sleep,
That's
I just
crazy.
at like 10:30 or like 11 o'clock, I just swung by over to work, and it was like, oh hey guys, I'm over here. Just, you know, here's Knox, say hi to him. It was a fun time.
Yeah.
By the time I left, I realized it was 1.
Jeez.
And then I got food, and then I didn't nap until 3. So, and then I woke up 2 hours later to play Valorant.
Why do these I stayed up late on a film shoot stories always end up with Valorant
I don't
happening?
know.
There's something
That's
about
interesting.
about being mentally unwell and playing Valorant that just
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
they just go
It just
together.
goes hand in hand.
It really does. But I get back to your point, Luke. Like I do agree. There's like just like such an energy, and like with Eric's story too. There's like an energy and a vibe with like being on set, like doing like a project together, like staying up late. That's like a lot of fun and really valuable. And I feel like that's something like I really value in life. Like even looking back on and trying to facilitate my life and having the energy such that like I can like do more of that
Mm-hmm.
with the time I have currently. Because, you know, I have a lot of free time doing my PhD, so.
Which
Can't tell if you're joking or not.
It's like
I'm gonna laugh.
It's like 50-50. Half joke, half not. Like, there's a lot of freedom you get. Like, that's one of the things I value most about my current work is, like, with my professor, he's like, you can show up whenever the fuck you want, just do your work. But, like, the work still gotta get done.
Yeah.
But I do like the freedom of being like, you know what? Today, I'm gonna show up at fucking, like, I'm not gonna walk in the door until, like, noon. And then I'll just do my shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah. Yeah, but you know what else is crazy?
What?
All our lovely viewers who have sat through this this I don't know, length of a podcast, however long we've been going. But you know, I think we've had some good combos. I think it's time to wrap up, and you know, I think we should do this again.
Would you say that you would like to hang out?
I think we should hang out more.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Thanks for listening. Goodbye.
Goodbye. Have a good one, all.